A pleasant good evening to each and everyone logged on to FM 98.9. We're going to break from our regular programming to join the People's Action Movement Town Hall meeting
the world is round, one day you will.
in Constituency number 6.
Father, we lift up tonight proceedings before you. Father, we bring the head tables before you, mighty God. We bring our leader before you. Father God, we bring our deputy leader. We bring our chairman before you. Mighty God, we lift up Natasha Grey before you. Father God, we lift up everyone here tonight before you. We pray for those who are on the way coming. Those who are walking, may you hasten their footstep. Those who are traveling, may you give them traveling mercies. Lord, we ask you to bless this proceeding tonight. Bless everything tonight. Let it be done in order and in decency. Lord, we come against every hindrance, every obstacles, every distractors. Father God, we come against every principalities in the name of Jesus. Lord God, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, as we turn everything over to you, have your way. Let your will be done, dear Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, good night once again. This is the voice of PAM here in Sadlers in constituency number 6. It's been a while since we've been here, but we are happy to be back here in Sadlers tonight. We are continuing a series of town hall meetings where we've been traveling throughout the length and breadth of St. Kitts to talk to the people of this country. We are here as a political party who is serious about the people's business and who is dead set on keeping the promises that we made to you, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and particularly tonight to the people of constituency number 6. Since we had our last town hall meeting in Conway, I believe it was, a lot has happened. A lot of things have happened. We've had a lot of drama, but through it all, the People's Action Movement has continued to engage the people of this country. We've continued to speak to you about what is happening, and we've continued to show you that the best way forward is true unity in a government of the People's Action Movement and our dear partners from Nevis, the Concerned Citizens Movement. Tonight with me at the head table, we have none other than our very own political leader, the Honorable Sean Kenneth Richards, the next Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. To my right is a man who really needs no introduction now, you know, but a man who has continued to represent the people of constituency number 4. Grant for sure in number 4. Lindsey Fitzpatrick Grant, our deputy political leader. And then to my far left is I can't say the baby because I'm the baby of the team, is the newest addition to our star-studded lineup, the newest addition to our slate of candidates and to our town hall meetings. I offer you none other than the woman who's going to take back East Bastille in the name of the People's Action Movement, Natasha Grey-Brooks. They say they turn us away, but we're still here, working for the people of this country, because no one man could give us no title that will stop us, that he can take away or give to anybody else that will stop us from coming out and doing the business of the people. This is what you call representation. This is what you call a true government in waiting. And we will not stop until the business of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis is done. We're talking about true unity. We're talking about keeping the promises that we made to you when you voted for us just under 2 years ago. We are committed to fulfilling every single one of those projects, those policies, those plans that we put forward to you and that you voted for. When we realized that other people wanted to go astray and to deviate from the plan that you voted for, we said, no way. Enough is enough. We said, we promised the people fixed-term elections, and the people will get fixed-term elections. We promised people integrity in public life legislation that actually works, and the people will get that from us. We promised the people term limits for the office of the Prime Minister, and you will get that to ensure that never again we get in this country a Prime Minister who thinks he is the end-all, the be-all. A man who thinks he might be 10 man in one or that he holding some kind of O. As far as I know, they ain't got no O in Prime Minister. We are going to deliver to the people of this country a Prime Minister and a government which truly works for all, whether you're in St. Kitts or you're in Nevis. And that is why we're going to ensure that the people of Nevis get their fair share, whether it be financially or otherwise. Because at the end of the day, we represent the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And so as we get into the meat of the matter this evening, I say a special good night, not just to you who are here, but to those who are following us live on the radio, live on the internet. Welcome. I trust that you will have an enjoyable evening with us tonight. And I know that we're going to give you much food for thought. And so, without any further ado, I will invite to the mic our first speaker for this evening, the lady who is going to take back East Bastille, the woman who's going to be the first female representative for the people of East Bastille, the woman who has a real plan for the people of constituency number 1. Help me welcome Mrs. Natasha Grey-Brooks.
Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, let me hear you. Saddlers, can I hear you? Can I hear my warriors from the east? Central Bastille? Anybody from number 3 in the house? West Bastille? What about number 4? Grand for sure in number 4. Okay, we have Saddlers, but where's the rest of number 6? Can I hear you? And number 7. Anybody in the house from number 7? Constituency number 8. Can I hear you? Anybody from the home of the next Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis? It is a pleasure and an honor to be here tonight. And I know that my colleagues have been doing a very good job so far informing the Federation of what has been taking place and ensuring that we stand firm and we allow persons to know that we are keeping the promise here from the People's Action Movement. I too want to ensure that going forward, not only is the promise being kept within the People's Action Movement, but we will ensure that promise is kept to every single citizen of this federation, regardless if you are PAM, Labour, PLP, CCM, or NRP. Nevis will get its fair share, and St. Kitts will get its fair share. Do you agree with me? But we cannot do it unless you use your vote. We have an election that is coming up very shortly. Anybody here registered to vote for the next general election? Would you use your vote to ensure that all the promises are kept coming up in the next general election? We have been spreading a message of love and care in the People's Action Movement. I stand by my colleagues, not just in the People's Action Movement, but for the Concerned Citizens Movement, as they have taken a principled stance in relation to what has been happening in the Federation. And we want people to know that we care about them. It doesn't matter your political affiliation. We care about you, and we want to ensure that your life is in a better position going forward. Your voice matters. And just like how we have told you what has been happening, we want to hear from you tonight. It's not all about us. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your concerns, and we want you to tell us how best we can ensure that we keep our promises. PAM is about the people. We are about ensuring that we dialogue with the people. We are not all about self. This election is about you. It is a very, very crucial election. It is about ensuring the stability of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have gone through some trying times over the past 2 years, and we want to ensure that persons' lives in the community is restored to a sense of normalcy. And we don't want that some people are getting things that are benefiting the standard of living and others are not. It should be a level playing field. Do you agree? Because PAM is always about putting people first. We need to give the economy, we need to grow the economy, and one of the ways that we can do so is to ensure we empower our youth. We want to encourage the youth, not just of constituency number 6, but throughout the Federation to come out this election, because we want to know that your life, the standard of your life is one that you can secure and one that you can have some involvement in. Too often times, the youth do not have an opportunity to give their input in the development of the country. And within PAM and CCM, real unity, we say the youth voice matters. Can I hear the youth in the constituency today? This country belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to one person or one family. It belongs to every single man and woman and their children and their children's children. And so, if you are a youth and you are voting for the first time, we ask you when you come out this election to put your future in the hands of real unity. Put your future in the hands of PAM and CCM. If you are a single mother or a mother caring for a family, you want to ensure that your children's future is secured. Oftentimes, we underestimate the job of our mothers in the community. And we are encouraging all mothers, whether you be from Sadler's, St. Paul's, Deep Bay, Parsons, we are asking you to follow the People's Action Movement. And the People's Action Movement will ensure that your life is better. We are aware that an increase was given recently in the civil service, but we also want to ensure that persons within the private sector, that their lives are made better. And so minimum wage is something that we have to look at. Too many persons can't make ends meet because of their wages. The last time that minimum wage was increased in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis was November 2014. I would agitate that is one of the first priorities when real unity is returned to office after the next general election. $360 cannot, in these trying times, cannot take a family too far. I know our women and our fathers are making ends meet, but we need to ensure that we give them those opportunities to improve their lives. And because the People's Action Movement is about putting people first, that is one of the things that we will ensure that will take place after the next general elections. Now, coming back to the civil servants increase, I know and I empathize with my colleagues who have recently lost their jobs. But I know in discussions with them that they would consider a reasonable increase for civil servants and give them that opportunity with me alongside them. Civil servants, I can't say that it will happen tomorrow or it will happen next month, but a proper assessment should be carried out to see whether or not an increase of 15% or more is possible within the first 100 days after being elected. Imagine if you're working for $2,000, your take-home pay is $1,830. And having gotten your 10% increase for this month, as well as the retroactive pay, you will get an additional $732 in your pocket. Therefore, at the end of May, a civil servant who is working for $2,000 would have $2,745. But the extra $745, how long will it last? How long will it last? We have to look at the long term. We can't wait until the persons make decisions which would only affect you in the short term. We also have to make sure that we put people in place who would look down the road. We don't want anything that just come for a particular point in time. Because in the next 2 to 3 months, that $745 is gone. And so, there are a number of things that are taking place now. Persons are being asked to register to come on the PAP. Well, go on the PAP, but make sure whenever the elections is called, you put your X by the hat for the PAM candidate in St. Kitts. People are also given the opportunity now to go on the step. If you want a job, take it. Go on the step. But look at who will be putting people first. And I say that is the People's Action Movement come the next general election. Some of you have been asking for land for years. Even since the last election, for years. But in the last couple of weeks, land is being distributed. Take the land. Secure the land. But ensure that you go out on election day, get your family members, make sure you call your friends, and you vote for the candidate of your choice in the next general election. Constituency number 6, don't feel left out. I know for now you're only seeing 4 persons here. But just now, very shortly, your candidate is coming. Try. Mr. Flanders, are you the next candidate for constituency number 6? I will come down and vote for you. Whoever it is, whether it is Troy or Mr. Leader or Mr. X, whoever it is, put the X by the hat on election day. In Constituency 6, there's no choice but the People's Action Movement. Because I know that once we put the relevant candidates in place for the People's Action Movement, the country would be in safe hands. We want people who would work in the best interest of all the citizens of this country. And so I ask you to stay focused. Stay focused. Don't let anybody derail you from our goal Don't let anyone come and bring any nice packages wrapped up in any color shirt. Make sure whatever it is they bring in, you take them and you say thank you. Say, be nice and polite, because I know your parents would have taught you manners. Thank you. And when election day, you make sure that you put your X by the hat. We are fed up. We are fed up of some of the things that have been happening, and we want to ensure that our country does not return to the days that we once had under the previous administration, and that we campaigned about in 2013, 14, and 15. Don't let anybody take us back to that. We have worked too hard. Too hard. I know that Jonelle Powell has worked hard. I know that Lindsey Grant has worked hard. I know that my leader has worked hard. And so people walking and talking about they work hard, these work hard too. They work hard and very hard for their constituents. It is no one-man show. We work together here as a team. And as Mark Brantley liked to say, there is no I in team and there is no me in unity. I look forward to going down Church Street with Jonelle Powell. I look forward to going down Church Street with Lindsey Grant. I look forward to going down Church Street with my political leader, Sean Richards. I look forward to going down Church Street with a candidate in number 6. I look forward to going down Church Street with a candidate in number 7. I look forward in going down Church Street to the candidate in number 8. And all those 3 candidates in Nevis 9, 10, and 11. We're going to have a very big celebration after the next general election. And I look forward. Oh, I missed out number 3. I apologize, because very shortly you'll be hearing who is the candidate in number 3. And I'm excited, you know. I see all kind of buzz happening on social media. But somehow I feel that that candidate is going to shake up things in number 3. He's going to shake up things in number 3. I mean, she's going to shake up things in number 3. I don't even know if he's a man or a woman, but they're going to shake up things in number 3. Number 3, we're coming back for all our PAM people. And so I say, all those who supported the People's Action Movement in constituency number 3, come home. Come home. It's supper time. Come home. It's supper time. And there is room for the table. There's room at the table for everyone. And so I wish you a pleasant good night. And stay tuned to all the activities that will be taking place coming on very soon.
Make some more noise for the next parliamentary representative for East Bastille, Mrs. Natasha Grey-Brooks. Girl, Shani, you sound good, you know? Who? I wonder about Shani. Shani sound like she done in parliament already. But you know, Shani, you touch on some things here, you know. You hear Shani talk about the increase, the 10% increase. I wonder if I know, is we do that? Is we do that? I'm going to go a step further. The money for the increase was in the budget in December that Sean voted for, that I vote for, that Lindsey vote for. We vote for the budget to have the money in for the increase. I can tell you something else. It's Sean Richards who came up with the idea. Sean Richards, back in October of 2021, was the one who came up with the idea of the increase. So when people come and start to talk stupidness and pretend like them alone bright, tell them Sean brighter than them long time. And you know, it was like all those other things that were happening, you know. It's a lot of things that happen that we ain't talk, you know. We were waiting for, and you hear what Shani say, you know, when we get in, we can review it. Because we want to see the reports and we want to know how the thing goes so we know what is appropriate for the increase. Because Sean raised it in October. We voted on it for the money in December. But you only now just get it. Well, what happened? What happened between December and now? We're waiting for the report from Finance. We're waiting for the information from Finance. Well, that sounds familiar. How many of y'all listened to Mark Brantley on the Mark the other day, on his last show? I sure you hear Mark say, John L. Powell was coming in the cabinet and asking about this step and what going on with this step, and when people can get opportunities to go on this step, and when people going to go from step to permanent. Almost every single cabinet, week in, week out. And the same thing we're hearing, oh, we're waiting to get the report from the step office. Or the computer system crash. Or we're waiting on something. For 2 years, how many people from Sadler's got opportunities on the step program? For 2 years, how many people from constituency number 6 got opportunities to get on this step? But all of a sudden, because we get up and say, boy, we ain't in this nonsense no more. The step report appeared to nowhere. And they made permanent. Well, let me tell you, the report was on the Prime Minister's desk since November of last year. And he refused to share it with the cabinet. And it is only after we wrote to the Governor General and said, we no longer support this man, all of a sudden the report come out of nowhere and persons are made permanent. Only after we wrote to the Governor General and said, we have no confidence in the leadership of the Prime Minister, all of a sudden the report from the Ministry of Finance appear and you hear about increase. For 2 years, the majority of the people, I have to use my words carefully, the majority of the people in this country were denied the opportunities that came from their government and their country, their native land. For 2 years. And all of a sudden, because he under pressure, he now want to come and give you this and give. All of a sudden, come, go on this step made permanent, come. All of a sudden, you couldn't get on the $500 program for 2 years, but all of a sudden, the lines coming down the steps now, again. Well, as Shani said, take it, it's yours. It is yours, take it. But remember who starved you for 2 years and who has been there for you. And then she said, vote for the hat. Number 6, you're getting a good candidate just now. You're going to get a hot candidate just now, but I can't talk the thing yet. But while we're waiting for the hot candidate, I need a hot speaker. I can tell you how they say he'd gone. All I can say is he's hot. He ain't the biggest, he ain't the tallest, but boy, he'd gone bad for you people. Number 4, where are you? Number 4, who has been there for you through thick and through thin. I welcome to the mic the current, because let me tell you, the only person who could fire is the people, Is the people in number 4 put Lindsey Grant in parliament, So nobody, only them could fire him, and I know that they believe in the Honorable Lindsey Fitzpatrick Grant. Grant for sure, in number 4, put your hands together and welcome Lindsey Grant.
What are you laughing for? Good night. Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, a pleasant good evening. I am so happy, very, very happy to be here in Sadler's tonight. Because for Sadler's and for constituency number 6, we are going to bring you a candidate very, very soon. Very, very soon we are going to bring Sadler's and constituency number 6 a candidate that you will be proud of. But today is Monday. Today is Monday. And on Wednesday, in the afternoon, we are going to bring for the people of constituency number 8 a candidate that will retire Dr. Drew in his political career. We are going to bring a candidate on Wednesday afternoon that is going to shake up the country. I am not going to say who that candidate is because it is not my privilege to say. But all I want to tell you is get ready. Once you hear the time and the place on Wednesday, you move to the venue. And we have a big, big welcome and initiation and announcement for that candidate. I want also to tell you tonight that you see for yourselves that a lot of things happening at the electoral office. You ought to be concerned about what is happening at the electoral office. And we are also concerned too, because when we look at some of the lists, we see names coming off that's supposed to be on. When we look at the list, we see names coming on that not supposed to be on. And so we ought to be concerned. And I am certain that at this time you hear about all the going-ons about the commissioners that we have. I understand that they asked one to resign. And the one who they asked to resign decided he ain't resigning. I don't know if he get a letter of dismissal as yet. No man get no letter of dismissal. Because I want to tell you, and I'm glad you raised it, because it is only the people, the good people of number 4 who hired me can fire me. It is only the good people of number 4 who hired me can fire me. In fact, Timothy got the job as Prime Minister from me and other colleagues at this table. And I want to tell you, I'm glad I get a paper in my hand. And I did not even need the paper in my hand, because I saw the writing on the wall long time ago. And so when they're winding up and grinding up to give me some letter, I am in the constituency with my people in number 4 getting ready. And so I know some people have strayed away from the People's Action Movement. I know some people have strayed away for different reasons. But I hear slang that I like tonight. Come home. Come home. It is supper time. I love that, you know. And I want to say to you tonight that we are here where we are tonight not by chance, but by design and choice. We could very well have stayed in what some people feel is a cushy job. Take me salary, go home when the month come, and take the stupidness that you're getting. Well, we ain't like that. We decide as a matter of principle, on a matter of principle, that we're not taking this nonsense anymore. In fact, maybe some of you don't know, but I can only speak to me. I am not pensionable under the law until June of 2023. I could have told the political leader, meaning that I want to wait till 2023 when my pension is secured. But I'm going to the election on a matter of principle. On a matter of principle. And I will go down fighting on a matter of principle. And so I want to tell you, it is not about Sean being a prime minister. And it is not about us being in government. It is about a principle. And what is that principle? That principle is that we fought long and hard in 2013. We fought long and hard in 2014. And we fought long and hard in 2015 on the point of a fair share for all. I rallied my heart out. My colleagues rallied their heart out on a matter of fair share for all on that principle. We didn't go on the principle that when the Venezuelan government gave 15 houses free, that all of them would end up in mansion. That ain't the fair share we spoke about. We didn't talk about the fact that when you want people going on PAP, you can't get them on PAP, but all of a sudden the PAP open to everybody. But let me stop for a moment. All I will say to you tonight in Saddlers, and to those who listening the sound of the voices of the People's Action Movement, all who want to be on the PAP, go up the steps of sustainable development tomorrow. Go up by the pink building, up by Bladens tomorrow. Because the money and the PAP and the step belong to you. It don't belong to anybody but you. So if it is available, I beg you, go up the steps of sustainable development tomorrow. Because it belongs to you. I want to say to you tonight, in Saddlers and Constituency number 6, I hear them sometimes on the radio talking all manner of things about we're not doing our work and we weren't doing our work and all manner of things they're talking. But I want to say to you tonight in Saddlers especially that we have done so much work. And you hear me say we know. We. Because this is not a one-man show. This is a team. And in a team, everybody works for the good of the team. And when we succeed, the team succeeds. And when we fail, the team fails. And so, when we were breaking records in 2018, and when we broke the records in 2019, and we brought over 1 million passengers on cruise to St. Kitts, and we broke records, the record is not Lindsey Grant, but the record is of the team that performed with me. And they can't rewrite history, because history will record that when we got into office in 2014, is only 485,000 passengers was the most ever brought. And in 4 short years, by 2018, we would have brought 1.1 million passengers to St. Kitts. Clap your hands for the members of the People's Action Movement who brought you that. And when we fixed Old Road Bay and pumped $31 million into Old Road Bay to make sure that the people who are traveling on the west side of the country are safe, it was the People's Action Movement and the team of the People's Action Movement, along with others, that brought that success. And so we could talk a number of things, because we have a record. When I gave the people in Harry Phipps their road, they had been walking on a dirt road for the last 30 years. 20 years of a Labour government. They've been walking on that dirt road. And it is Lindsey Grant, the performing constituency number 4, that gave them that road. And when we gave the people of Virchilds another road again, it was the performance of Lindsey Grant and the People's Action Movement that made sure that it happened. But those things are in the past. But I have to tell you that I started a breakfast program at the Tyrrell Williams Primary School in about 2015, 16, thereabout. A young lady, a parent of a child at the Tyrrell Williams Primary School came to me, her idea, and said to me that there were children in my constituency coming to school and going to the day without breakfast, and what could I do about it? I immediately set to work. But when I spoke to the young mother, initially I thought it was only like 25 children needed that attention. I must have been crazy because I started to cook breakfast in my house like 4 o'clock in the morning to get it ready. Me and my wife, 4 o'clock in the morning, get up every morning. After about a couple of months, I tell my wife, me can't do this no more. This is too much work. 4 o'clock every morning, going to me getting 4 hours sleep. I said, me can't handle that. Because when it started out 25 people, children, by the next time, it is at 75. I said, Lord, I gone dead. So I said, we're going to have to hire somebody, get 2 commercial stoves, put them in the Tyrrell Williams, get a fridge, put it in Tyrrell Williams. And I had a big group of volunteers, give them a round of applause. And today as I speak, that breakfast program has reached in excess of 150 young children being given their food every day. And that ain't a government program. That is not a government program. But I want to go to the future, because under a government of the People's Action Movement and the CCM, the future looks very, very bright. The future looks bright. And what does the future hold for us? The future holds an enormous amount of potential for us. Not because the Honorable Sean Richards will be the next Prime Minister, and he will be. So give the next Prime Minister a round of applause. Because I don't know what kind of maths the current Prime Minister is using. Because don't care what kind of maths he is using. The party that he runs, the party that he leads, cannot win a next election in this country. Cannot win a next election in this country. This election is a straight race between the People's Action Movement and the Labour Party. Not the fake Labour Party, but the real Labour Party. So I want to tell you, in Saddlers, I want to tell you, those listening to the sound of my voice, don't waste no X on the PLP. Don't waste no X on PLP because the X can't save them. No matter, no amount of money, no amount of money could put the PLP in the government. As a matter of fact, when we look at our polling, Timothy Harris will be lucky if he come out with his seat. I know in number three, when we land the candidate for number 3 in the skin come Thursday, they're going to be balling. The only thing, Lord, I'm sorry for my partner, Akila. I'm sorry for Akila. But she gone. It is what it is, as somebody said. It is what it is. So I can leave it there. But I want to tell you, in my own constituency, I have more work to do. And as I campaign this afternoon, house to house, and I go to the people, I said to them, I know I'm coming to you 3 years early. We didn't expect to be in an election mode in 2022. We expected to be there in 2025. But it is what it is. And we can no longer support the Prime Minister because of A, B, C, D, E, which I'm not going into. But I've said to them, give me another opportunity to work for you, to ensure that the things that I put in train already, I continue them and I finish them. But before I go to them to tell you what I spoke to them about, I want to touch on one little area. Today is what? Monday? Today is Monday. I understand. Now, there's only some people come and tell me now. And I see some things. I understand some of the ministers in government, some of them who are not elected and unelectable. Not elected and unelectable start to write letter. I understand them writing letter up as Casper. So they want to know every single person that I would have employed between January and now. They want to know their salary. They want to know when they start to work. They want all manner of things. They want to victimize people. They want to intimidate people. But let it be known that the People's Action Movement will not be intimidated by the actions. In fact, I understand they went to take down my picture up at the airport, and they almost had a riot up the airport because they're taking down my picture. I understand today now. Today, they come and they say they want to see all the contracts for the vendors, for the music festival, because cabinet have to approve them. I in cabinet 7 years now, and cabinet has never ever approved any vendors from the music festival. But you know what I mean? They want to take where they work for the people who cooking. They want to take where they work from the security people. They want to take where they work from the fringe people. They want to take where all people work and intimidate them by saying to them, if they ain't vote PLP, they ain't got the work. But I want to tell them who doing that, the unelectable who doing that nothing what they're doing could stop the people of this country from going overwhelmingly and vote for the People's Action Movement come the next general election. So they could do all manner of things what they want to do. All manner of evil that they want to do. But as I tell them, God is on our side. God is on the side of right. And we are going to roll out the team. And by the time he announces the election, we are ready to rumble. But I want to tell you one final thing because I can't talk all night tonight. I want to say one final thing. And the one final thing I want to say to you tonight in Saddlers and beyond, get ready. Put on your shoes. Put on your shirt. Get your whistle. Get your flag. Because election is at our doorstep. And this is how I work it out. This is how I work it out. We sat down in the cabinet in October. We agreed in October. As a matter of fact, let me back up a bit. Yeah. In October, the greedy fellow decided that they wanted to give an increase for parliamentarians. Listen carefully now. He wanted to give an increase for parliamentarians because parliamentarians had not gotten an increase since about 2005. And when he raised that issue, I said, Mr. Prime Minister, I will not take an increase in my salary until civil servants get an increase. He said, you're right, you know. I said, I got to be right. People in the civil service are hurting. Prices going up because of what is happening on the global market. I cannot, in good conscience, take an increase until we give civil servants an increase. So we sat down and decided in October that we were going to increase the wages of civil servants. The only thing we did not decide is the percentage of increase that they were going to get. In December, when the budget came, in the budget is an amount that was put there to ensure that civil servants get their increase. And I was so surprised. I was so surprised when just about 10, 12 days ago, or whenever it was, I was so surprised that 10, 12 days ago, the gentleman gets up in a national broadcast to make the people in the country feel that he get up with this bright idea to give civil servants an increase. Nothing tall goes up. All of us, all the members of the People's Action Movement agreed that civil servants should get an increase. And it ain't a one man decide no increase. And I'm saying to you, election is at your doorstep. Because as the thinking of the man goes, come May Day, civil servants will get their 10% increase. Come May Day, they're going to get their money retroactive. And you know people waiting for this money. You know people going to spend the money because they need the money. And I want to tell you, not long after that, election is going to come. Not long after that, election is going to come. And I can predict that the election will come. The election will come before the music festival. Oh, you gone silent here? Or just after the music festival, but it ain't going much longer than that. And so you have less than 45 days. Less than 45 days for a brand new government in St. Kitts and Nevis. A brand new government of the People's Action Movement and the CCM. a brand new Prime Minister in the Honorable Sean K. Richards, a brand new team with Shani in the house, a brand new team with John L. Deere, a brand new team with number 3 and number 8, which will be announced come Wednesday, Thursday. And I want to tell you, we are going to be marching and jumping up all in the streets of Bastille as we welcome in for a brand new day, a brand new government, a government of the People's Action Movement. God bless you and good night.
I tell you, they're going bad, you know. Make some more noise again for Lindsey Grant. Lord, elections again, eh? Elections again. Well, if it's one thing we know, Timothy Harris will not be the Prime Minister after the next elections. Because the Honorable Sean Kenneth Richards will be our next Prime Minister here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And you know why? Because PAM has always produced decent, respectable, principled prime ministers. The best prime minister we've ever seen in this country. Our only living national hero, Dr. Kennedy Simmons, set the tone. And nobody has been able to fill those shoes since then. We thought for a little while that one might have been able to come close, but he let us down. The true spirit came out. But I have absolutely no doubt that the man to my left is going to step up and lead this country to heights that it has never seen before. And live on and build upon that legacy set by Dr. Simmons all those years ago. With the support of all of us here, with the support of those that are to be named just now, and with the support of our partners, our brothers and sisters in Nevis, with the Concerned Citizens Movement. And you keep hearing that we're going to be announcing the candidates. Yes, we are ready to announce our slate. And we took our time, you know, because when PAM come good. We ain't bringing a Pam Ninambi little candidate for y'all. When you look around the landscape at some of the candidates that some of these other parties want to present to the people of this country, you want to know if they're serious. The People's Action Movement will be bringing serious candidates. You will be getting a serious candidate here in Saddlers. Hold on, you can get your time to talk. You, along with everybody else, will get your opportunity to speak at the end. And so, I want to invite all of you. To stick with the People's Action Movement and to ensure that the next government of this country is made up of honorable, principled people from the People's Action Movement and the Concerned Citizens Movement. But people, I don't want to wait any longer. I want you to hear about the plans that we have for you, the people of Saddlers, the people of Constituency number 6, and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And so I want you to make some noise. I want you to shout. I want you to clap. I want you to welcome your next Prime Minister. The man who is going to ensure that decency and honesty is returned to the highest office of this land. I want you to make noise for the man from SP where the best be. Hop, 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 hop. Make some noise for the Honorable Sean Kenneth Richards.
Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, good night, good night. Residents of Sadlers, good evening. No gimmicks? No gimmicks? No gimmicks? Next election? You all sound good tonight. Tonight, I want to say a very special good evening to all of you, especially to those from Sadlers. I want to say a special good night to all of those who are listening online, to persons like Natasha, Travis, and all the others who said to make sure that I call their names, I say good night to you. Tonight, I am happy to see all of you. And I am looking forward to having a conversation at this time when we can fairly say the issues that face us as a nation must be addressed with a sense of urgency. I want to say a very special thank you for the personal expressions of solidarity that I have received from many of you within the last week in particular. Our mission going forward is to rally all of our people, for we are confident and we are determined to push on, keeping the flame of real unity alive. You are aware that we are preparing for a general election in this country. And that election must be called within the next 80 or so days, unless the illegal man decides to breach our Constitution. I know that for some, you have seen the last few weeks has been very tumultuous, but the debate which has ensued about the direction in which this country should go, I think it is a very good debate. It has given us an opportunity to refocus. It has given us an opportunity to reset, and it has given us an opportunity to ensure that the gains that we've made within the last 7 years under a government inspired by the People's Action Movement are consolidated. I see this period as an opportunity for this nation to experience real change and further development. As with meetings such as this one here tonight, we must begin to have the right conversations. We must begin to speak to how we are going to ensure that the gains which have been made in the last 7 years are maintained, and how to expand and improve the life and condition of every citizen of this country, regardless of which political party they support. Tonight, I am here to make the case that real unity involving the People's Action Movement and the Concerned Citizens Movement represent the surest vehicles to ensure national unity and continued economic success. Our platform offers hope, it offers stability, and it offers continuity. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that the next general election will be a straight fight between the People's Action Movement and the original Labour Party, not the fake Labour Party. The CCM will take care of business in St. Kitts. in Nevis. You all listen. I was checking to make sure you all still awake. You all still awake, that's good. There is absolutely no serious analysis which indicates that the PLP is a serious political force in this country, especially without the help and the support of PAM supporters. As a matter of fact, there's a gentleman who I had a conversation 2 weeks ago. And the gentleman said that in a conversation which the man that is illegally holding on to the office of the Prime Minister, he said to him, "Tell me how you plan to be Prime Minister again in this country." He said, "Tell me." He said to him, "You can't win Sandy Point. You can't win St. Paul's. You probably can win your seat. That's 3 seats gone. PAM ain't gonna support you. Labour will not support you. CCM will not support you. So you're trying to tell me you're going to win the other 5 seats in St. Kitts?" He said, "Watch me and tell me you will win the other 5 seats in St. Kitts." He said, up until now, the man can't answer him. He said, "I will go further. Bet me any amount of money that you will win the other 5 seats." He said, "If you want to win $11 million, bet me $11 million you will win the other 5 seats." He said, "The man ain't even bet $1. Not even $1 the man bet, because the man knows he cannot win the other 5 seats. And if it's one thing is for certain, he will not be the Prime Minister of this country come the next general election." He telling his supporters and his so-called candidates all sorts of things to convince them to support him and to run for him. But he knows he cannot win. And so I said to you tonight that we are moving forward. And I want to make a special appeal to all of those of you who have moved away from PAM. It is time to come home. Come home, come home, come home. When you went to primary school, you heard sheep, sheep, come home. It is time for you to come back home to the People's Action Movement. The last 7 years have sometimes been what appears to be moments of contradiction, creating a level of uncertainty and confusion. We were vigorously trying to make the unity pact that we created work for everyone. While we had great success in many different areas, we acknowledge that even some of our own stalwarts got left behind. We in PAM, we have become very aware and very conscious of that. And we have been trying to address these issues in the last couple of years. But we also accept that there was not enough progress in some areas in both subjective and objective terms. Now that unity has been consolidated with 2 willing partners fully respecting each other, we have the view that we now have a framework to address many of the outstanding issues. Many of you were at the forefront during the difficult years of standing up against a previous government that had Harris as a provident and influential member. There's an aggressive attempt to divide and rule us by the forces of PLP. They're using money and in some instances using state resources to buy loyalty and to buy votes. PLP has had one mission, and that is to weaken the People's Action Movement. But today, we stand strong and we stand firm. But that will only leave the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party to sneak through the back door if we allow PLP to divide us. That is why I said to you again that all PAM supporters must come back home. We have to put aside any differences that we may have. We have to have honest conversations with each other, and we have to rally for the common good. We must make it clear every single thing that is at stake at the next general election. And has been proven in the last 7 years, St. Kitts and Nevis is better with a unity government. PLP, having left Team Unity through its actions and declarations, leaves us with PAM and CCM, who is providing this real unity platform in the next general elections. We are at a fork in the road, and we must choose the right direction. Amidst all of the challenges that we face, whether internal or external, we now have a debate about the direction in which this country must go. We can have a debate about the management and about the governance. We can have a debate about development and genuine people's empowerment, and we can also have a debate about real unity. There is absolutely nothing that we cannot achieve if we stay together as a nation. Amidst all of the challenges, both internal and external, a united government is indeed our best hope of navigating these treacherous times. PAM and CCM provide the opportunity for real unity, which is the vehicle for national growth and expansion. PAM and CCM, we are committed to giving civil servants a 15% salary increase, as we have envisaged from since last year, not the 10%. So I said to civil servants that we are committed to giving you an additional 5% increase. This is what we have been advocating, and we are confident that we can get it done. An urgent focus for us within the coming period is that of youth engagement, employment, and empowerment. We believe that we must fine-tune the existing programs on youth to make them more efficient and more effective. We, however, have to get better value for money that we continue to invest in our people. We must preserve real unity. And we now say real unity because indeed we are committed to let this enduring partnership be governed by trust, be governed by truth, be governed by respect, be governed by responsibility, where individual ego gives way to the good of the entire whole. So when you go out into the communities and you spread the word that unity is still a worthy dream, you must spread the word that real unity is alive and is well. We are all determined to go forth, not with rancor, not with bitterness, but with focused determination and with a selfless pursuit for the greater good. This week, as you would have heard, we will unveil 2 more candidates who will run in constituencies number 3 and number 8. 6 coming soon. On Wednesday afternoon, we got to swing the restaurant in Kayan around 4 p.m. and we will reveal the 4:30, you heard? Well, 4:30, Vanessa. If you don't work 4:30, Vanessa, I am unemployed. So around 4 o'clock, 4:30 on Wednesday afternoon, we invite you to swing to hear the new candidate for constituency number 8. And when you get there, I will tell you the place and time on Thursday for the candidate for constituency number 3. The CCM has already told you it's late. And the other party, the fake party, up until now, it can't name its candidates. I understand that in East Bastille, all kind of bad word cussing, because as the former bad word minister and the illegal prime minister have it out about who the candidate will be. But together, PAM and CCM, we will be fielding 11 candidates to spread the values of unity in all of the constituencies. Our platform will continue to fight for the things that we have worked hard for in the last 7 years. We will preserve your jobs, we will expand your opportunities, and we will continue to engage you. We will change the things that have undermined the concept of real unity. We will do away with nepotism. We will do away with the unequal sharing of resources. And we will do away with the corruption in some of the social programs. We will do away with the reality where deserving people are left out of the PAP and other social programs. There shall not be a political litmus test. In other words, we will not use the political party that you support to determine whether or not you are eligible for PAP, whether or not you are eligible for jobs, or whether or not you are eligible for the $500 monthly assistance. If you qualify regardless of which political party you support. Everyone on PAP must be deserving to be on the program. And everyone who is deserving to be on the program shall be added to the program. You here in Sadlers and in this constituency who deserve to be on PAP, you will be on it. Not that now there's an election coming, you're told to go to this office and to that office in order to get on the PAP. Some of you have been asking for land and you can't get land. You're being told no land is available. But now an election is looming, you are being told land is available. Just this evening, a woman sent me a copy of a letter that her son who lives in Europe, received today, allocating land to him because somebody who they want to support PLP made the application for the land. You have persons right here in Sadlers, you have applied and can't get land. And while you can't get, and while you are waiting, people living all over the globe are being allocated land. I have no issue with citizens of this country getting land whether or not they live in St. Kitts. But just as they have the opportunity to receive, so too you must have the opportunity to receive, regardless of which political party you support. The Treasury and your money are now being used for PLP's political campaign, and that is wrong. I again urge the civil servants of this country not to get caught up in such illegal activities. The people's money is not for that purpose. The people's money must not be spent to get votes for PLP. That is not what your taxpayers' money should be used for. And so we give the people of St. Kitts and Nevis our commitment, our fervent commitment that we will use your money in the best interest of all of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Going forward, we want to make it clear that it will not be about the family, not just one family, but all families. I recall when I was Minister of Education, you asked for somebody to put on the board for CFBC, you get a family member as one of the board members. You ask for somebody to put on the board for accreditation, you get a family member as one of the board members. And as you look throughout the length and breadth of government, you see one family occupying almost every single board in this country. Why Gloria can't be on a board? Why Phyllis can't be on a board? Because her last name is Farrell and not Harris. Gloria cannot be on a board because her last name is Marsham and not Harris. One family alone should not have member on every single board, while some of you cannot be on a board. And that is why we say the nepotism must come to an end. The victimization, it must come to an end because it has been raising its ugly head. Going forward, every deserving family and every deserving constituency that has people in need of housing assistance will not be put at a disadvantage. Not one constituency getting 15 free homes, while you, the people here in Sadlers, did not get a single one of those homes. Not when you have a selfish man who has a deputy leader, and not even one of those homes he built in the constituency of his deputy leader. Because it is all about him. It is all about his selfishness. Going forward, we shall be guided by fairness. Going forward, we shall engage all of the people. Going forward, the welfare of a people and of a nation shall not be held hostage to selfish political ambition. Going forward, we shall regain the mantle of real unity. As I close, I want to speak to a matter that I spoke to you about on Friday evening during the opening of Jonell's constituency office. I reported to you that as I attempted to return home on Wednesday morning, that one selfish man apparently felt he could have got me stuck in the United States and not back in St. Kitts. Wednesday morning, I had a flight out of Boston at 5:48 in the morning. I showed up at the airport in Boston. When I got to the airport, I went to the American check-in counter. I gave the American agent the diplomatic passport. When you go to American, they normally key in whatever number from the passport. The agent keyed in whatever number, I had no issues. I then went to TSA, and when you get to TSA, that is where they would scan the passport to determine the validity of the passport. I got to TSA. I gave the passport to the TSA agent. The gentleman scanned the passport. When he finished scanning it the first time, he turned it to the front. He looked at the passport to see what the passport says. He took the passport. He scanned the passport again. Upon scanning it the second time, he said, "Let me go and call a supervisor." I turned to him. I said, "Is there a problem?" He said, "Yes. I have never seen this message before." I said, "What message you see?" He said, "There is some message which is saying that this passport is federally restricted." I said, "So, give me back the passport, use this passport." And I gave the gentleman the regular passport. Now, I have seen a press release trying to imply that I lied. I came to you on Friday, and I made up some sort of story about the diplomatic passport. I don't have any reason to come to anybody to tell anybody any lie about any diplomatic passport. I want somebody from the audience to come up here with me. Anybody come. Once you can read, come. Anybody? Jalil, come. Come around. That's a WhatsApp conversation. Tell me the name of the person who the conversation is with.
Taz,
Read the conversation. What day is the conversation?
Wednesday.
Read the conversation.
All right, it starts at 9:38
9:38, what, in the morning?
a.m.
All right.
Taz says, "I don't understand. Did your passport work?" Sean says, "LOL, LOL, hell no. The man swiped and was going to call a supervisor. I said, don't bother with that. He says, I've never seen this. I said something about the passport federally restricted. She said, wow, the tape?"
Thank you. That conversation was the very Wednesday morning when I got in to Miami. Taz is Tazula Clifton Phipps, the daughter of Kenrick Clifton, whose funeral I attended. On Tuesday, after the funeral, after the announcement, Tazula and I were having a conversation. She said, when you get to the airport, you should willfully use the diplomatic passport and see if it's going to work. That is the reason why she sent me that message after 9 in the morning when I got into Miami to ask if the passport worked. So, as you can see, I ain't got no reason to tell Taz any lie. Taz and I are very, very good friends. So when I came and I spoke to you on Friday, that it was not the first time that I had reported to someone what happened relative to the diplomatic passport. As a matter of fact, some of you know, and you have heard a tape of some meeting that he had over in his constituency. And in that meeting, he said to persons that he told them to deactivate the diplomatic passport. I have it here. You probably can't hear it well. I don't have to tell any lie. But as I said, I didn't expect the passport to work. And I made sure that when I traveled with my regular passport. I said to you all, when I applied for my US visa, I applied in my regular passport because nobody gonna think they could pull no style on me and tell me give them back the diplomatic passport, and when they take it, the visa is inside of the diplomatic passport. I have sense. My mother sent me to school. The man is a greedy man. He greedy for food. He greedy for watch. He greedy for shoes. He greedy for money. And he greedy for power. The man is a vindictive man. And the man is a wicked man. I want to say to the police officers that just as he can victimize myself and others, so too will he victimize you. I said to the teachers, just as he can victimize me and others, so too he will victimize you. I said to the nurses, the government auxiliary employees, the cleaners, the regular man and woman in this country, that the man is a vindictive man, and so too will he victimize you. But I said to you that one thing is for certain, that come the next election, he will not be prime minister again. I didn't say this on Friday night, but I could have said this too. A few years ago, I had my house and I had my vehicle. Gunshots were fired at them. Since then, I was assigned a police officer to work as a security officer with me. Since this thing has happened, I have said to the police officer that it is only a matter of time before they pull you as being my security officer. I expected it. He gave the speech around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. By 9 minutes past 4, I got a message from the police officer who was working with me to say to him, as of tomorrow morning, report to SSU. I expected it because I know the wicked, vindictive nature of the man. So it didn't come as any surprise. The man is a wicked man. And so no sooner than he pulls the security officer, he goes to the very same meeting and he stands up in the meeting and he says, Sean wants to bring an end to the peace program. Sean wants to bring an end to the peace program. The message that he's therefore giving to those on the peace program is that Sean wants to take bread out of your mouth, and you must prevent Sean from taking bread from out of your mouth. That is the message that that wicked man wants to give to those on the peace program. But I am saying to you, I am not going to walk with fear in this country. I am not going to operate with fear in this country because the Lord is my shepherd. 3 Timothy is not my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. I have absolutely no intention of stopping the peace program. I have gotten up in Parliament on more than one occasion to defend the peace program when members of the opposition criticize the very same peace program. And you all can go back and check the records for Parliament and recognize I have defended the peace program. I want to see better for the people and the peace program. I want to see more of them being empowered to have their own businesses. I want to see some of them being able to go into the schools and to speak to our young people about avoiding a life of gang violence. Just as those in constituency number 7 were able to benefit from houses, I want to see persons in the peace program being able to get similar benefits. Because I do believe that the majority of persons on the peace program, they are well-intended citizens who at some point in time went on the wrong track. And I have always said that a country can only develop to its fullest potential if all of the people of the country are able to participate and make a contribution towards the development of the country. Tonight, I said to the people of the peace program that real unity will ensure that you have a better deal in this country. You will not have to worry about when you receive your money if somebody else receives more money than you did, because it is a concern that you have. We want to make the peace program a better program. In the next few weeks, we will come directly to you and make the case further for real unity. For the dream of real unity is still alive. The dream of real unity, it will never, ever die with the People's Action Movement and with CCM. On Thursday night, we will see you for our next town hall in constituency number 7 in Molyneux. At this time, I take my seat so that you can ask your questions.
Put your hands together for the next Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Sean Kenneth Richards. As they set up the microphone, I'd like to invite you to come and ask any questions, share any comments. Don't be afraid, because the People's Action Movement is not afraid. We are here to serve you, the people, and we will continue to protect you. You hear the insinuations. I don't care who come with the threats. Sean just spoke to it. A few weeks ago, we heard and saw a video on social media in respect to Mr. Grant. I can tell you that just tonight I received my threat. But I will say this: I shall not be moved. With the Lord on my side, I am protected. And so who think they could stop me, tell them they can't stop nothing. I will continue, like the rest of them on my team, to work on behalf of the people of this country. And so I see we have at least one person who's come forward, and so I invite you to say your piece.
Yeah, good night. Anyway, name is Mr. Leonardo A. Prokop Christmas. Speaking to the PAM representatives, there was a promise made before you all got into office as unity. The statement and the promise was for term limits of 2 terms, whether it be 2 terms, 5 years apiece, and also the integrity in office. Why haven't they been debated? And if there was, could you bring it up to date, please?
While we wait on the next person to come, in terms of the in terms of the term limits for the office of the Prime Minister, you will recall that in the first term of Team Unity, that legislation was taken to the Parliament. it was tabled and debated. It was unsuccessful because of the non-support coming from the opposition Labour Party in the Parliament. It required 2/3 of those in Parliament voting to pass the legislation. Team Unity did not at that point in time possess 2/3 of the majority, 2/3 of the number of persons in Parliament, and so it failed. In the second term of Team Unity, and I can speak directly to this because I was there, on several occasions, the issue of the term limits was raised in cabinet to be placed on the parliamentary agenda. And every time it was raised, it was met with some form of pushback, frustration. Well, let's talk about it at the next meeting. I want to make an amendment to it. I don't think we're ready for that. I'll go so far as to say that we had agreed to reduce the number of years that it took for persons to receive citizenship here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're going to reduce it from 14 to I think it was 9, and residency from I think 7 to 5 years. That would have required a constitutional amendment. I, John L. Powell, said that if we are going to amend our Constitution, the very first amendment that should be made should be a significant one. It should be a principled one. It should be a landmark one. And that I believe that the matter of term limits was appropriate or more appropriate than making it easier to become a citizen as the First Amendment to the Constitution. My colleagues agreed with me. We all agreed on that. And to date, we cannot get that legislation on the parliamentary agenda. And before I move on, because some people like to tell lies in this country, I believe it was in the 18-page letter in response to what Sean and Mark sent to the Prime Minister. He said that in February, the Cabinet had agreed to put the term limits on the legislative agenda. That is a lie. In February, the Attorney General presented to us a number of things, of legislation to consider to put on the parliamentary agenda. We were to look at it and come back and say what we think a priority, what we think don't need to go on anymore, and have a further discussion. That discussion, like so many other discussions, never took place. And so to date, that legislation has been denied access to the parliamentary agenda. In respect of the integrity in public life legislation, that had been done. Monies had been set aside for the commission, and while there was some feedback coming from certain levels within the civil service and externally in terms of how far and who all should be subject to that legislation, many of us were in there saying, well, let us start with the top and make the necessary changes coming down later. We were prepared to go and do as Lindsey Grant did all those years ago and said to the commission, this is what I own, this is what I owe to the bank, this is what I make, this is what I have, and justify how we get what we have. But again, I guess certain people didn't want to say what they got, who they get it from, and then how they come to get it. But me ain't got nothing to hide, you know. They could see how much I owe the bank because my hands are clean. Nobody can put my name in nothing. They tried that already and it didn't work because my hands are clean. And so that is the reason why those things did not happen the way they ought to. But I give a commitment here today that when PAM and CCM form the next government of real unity in this country after the next elections, that legislation will be passed. We will put that legislation for term limits to the parliament, and we would expect that decent, honorable, principled parliamentarians will support it. And we will ensure that that integrity in public life is put into effect. We make sure the legislation is put into effect. We'll ensure that all of us go and file what we have to file and say what we have. Say what we have when we come in, so that when we're going out, you could determine whether we're taking more than what we went in with. I have another person, oh no, first year, in the first couple months. I don't think your mic is working.
Yeah? Okay.
I want to ensure that if you're making an announcement, everybody can hear you.
Well, I'm going to do such. My name is Troy A. Flanders. I'm from constituency number 6. Firstly, I would like to apologize to the people of number 6. I walked the length and breadth of this constituency last election, and I asked them to support the PLP candidate in unity. And I would like to apologize to them for, one, the bank that is still not open. I will also like to apologize to the fishers in Deep Bay for the state of the fishing complex. I want to apologize to them. Knowing that I speak to the director himself of fishery, and he is the one who is responsible for the state that the fishery is in. So I would like to apologize to the people who I asked to support a PLP candidate. Also to the residents of Newton Ground, because we had promised them we'll get the playing facility fence. So I would like to apologize to them also. To everyone in Saddlers, I hear your complaint. I know you want our facilities up there upgrade, and I promised that also, so I apologize. But I'm telling you all, keep hope alive, because after the next election, Troy A. Flanders will be in a better position to make sure that those facilities are looked after. Right? You know me, I know you, we know each other. And I know I'm a man to my word. Because I believe when you give somebody your word, they should be able to take it to the bank. I believe in that. I'm a firm believer in that. If I tell somebody I'm going to do something, I'm trying my best to do it. Right? So, you're welcome. If anything I left out at this moment, okay, you could come to the mic and tell the gentleman. But anyway, again, I would like to say, welcome PAM back in number 6. PAM is back in number 6. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else who would like to ask a question, make a comment, make a suggestion?
Everyone, I'm from Parsons. My name is Candy Romney, no line. As Troy said, welcome back to constituency number 6 after so many years. For far too long, constituency 6 have been placed on the back burner. Nobody have recognized us. It's like we are left to ourselves to fight or to fend for whatever we need. Keeping the promise. Have you kept the promise for 7 years? I don't think so. Yes, we get sidewalks, we get our house roof fixed. We are happy for that. but we need houses. 23 houses was put down in Constituency 6. From Newton Ground to Harris's, only 23 houses. Nothing has been put down in Parsons, and young people in Parsons need houses to live in. They need lands. We are jobless. We need jobs. Many of us applied on the step. We were not successful. Many of us applied on the PAP. We were not successful. I don't know if it is because where we are from. We have left alone for too long. From the previous PAM government and from this government, not because there is not a representative for number 6, not because Douglas Town gonna come, not because there is not a representative for number 6 for the PAM government or for the PAM. I think that you all should have paid close attention to number 6, because you always say you want to bring home number 6. But how can you bring home number 6 if you don't pay us no mind? How can you bring home number 6 if we don't get a piece of the pie? We got development bank, we can't get a loan. We can't get a loan to build a house. We can't get a loan to pay for our land. Nothing. You all say you care for us. How can you care for us when you are terminating us from our jobs? How can you? I have been terminated last year, July 9th, from SCASPA after 14 years. For whatever reason, I don't know. I have bills to pay. I have my house to pay for, which the bank is already calling me for. Do you all want me to be on the streets? Where would I live? Where would I live? I have children. How will I be able to look after my children if I am not working? How can I survive? Tell me, how can I survive? Even though I was not the only person who was terminated, I'm speaking for me, because I have 3 children. Not because I have a husband. I need to put my input. One hand cannot clap. One hand can't clap. Many people messaging me, I don't care. Whether me I labor, me not care. I came here to speak. I came here to listen. I listen attentively. I listen from home because I reach here late. I listen from when Ms. Gray start to talk. When I jump out of the bus, I take it off. Because I want to hear everything. Everywhere I go, I listen to you. Me ain't gonna say, me not listen to you because me no, I want to hear what you got to tell me. What are you going to bring to the table for me? If I decide, okay, me ain't gonna vote for Labour this election. If I decide, me ain't gonna vote for Labour this election, I'm going to give PAM a try. How can you assure me that I can get a job? How can you assure me that my 19-year-old son can get piece of land, can get a house or a job? How can you assure us, the young people here in Constituency 6, because we need assurance. And after voting, we need assistance. We can't get assistance around here. We cannot get it. I don't know if it is because we are Labour. We have been branded far too long. The brand needs to come off. Need to come off, and it is hurting. It is hurting. You all come here time after time. Give us a chance, give us a chance. But if we give our a chance, we're going to be profitable. Will it be profitable? Will it be profitable if we give you a chance? Me now work. My son now work. Since 2020, my son now work. If the bank come, give me a letter tomorrow, say they're taking my house, where going? Tell me where I'm going. Where going to tell me children? Where going to tell me children? It is heartbreaking. And I'm going to say, like I told the PLP candidate this afternoon, we don't need no more empty promises. We don't need no more empty promises. We've been getting it far too long. It's time for it to end. It's time for it to end. We need to stand up. Me not about nobody else, but me I stand up. Because me got me children them and me got to stand up for them. Each one of them, till whenever they decide to go on their own. Me got to stand for them. So, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I have to stand. So we need assistance, we need assurance. And until we can get that assurance, then we're going to sing the same tune. We're going to sing the same tune, but if we can't get assurance, it don't make any sense.
I would like to thank that young lady for her comments, because this is exactly why the People's Action Movement is coming around to the people of this country, constituency by constituency, to hear from you. To hear from you exactly what you are feeling and what you want. This is why we're doing it. And not to make promises, but to present you with a plan. And so I'm going to invite no less than the next Prime Minister to respond to your concerns.
Thank you, Chairman Jonel. I want to thank the lady for that honest and frank conversation that she just had with us. It is for that very reason why we are having these series of town hall meetings, to hear from persons the genuine concerns that you have. It is only by hearing those genuine concerns we're able to put the policies in place to ensure that those concerns are addressed. As I said during my own remarks, I am fully of the belief, and the People's Action Movement is fully of the belief, that regardless of which political party one supports, that individual is entitled to all of the resources that are available in this country. That individual must receive his or her fair share of the resources of this country. Indeed, you are hurting. You're in a position where you are unemployed. Your 19-year-old is unemployed. As you said, you have bills to pay on a monthly basis. And as a citizen of this country, both you and your son should have access to jobs, should have access to resources. It is for that reason and more why we decided that we can no longer continue as part of this Team Unity government, because we recognize that persons in this country are not being able to access their fair share. We give the people of this constituency our full commitment that it will not be business as usual. We will work to empower persons from this constituency and persons from all constituencies. We will do what we can to point you towards possible employment. I personally would like to have a conversation with you at the end of the town hall meeting to privately discuss with you the concerns that you have and perhaps how those concerns can be addressed in the interim. So at the end of the meeting, I'm inviting you to come and have a conversation with me. Again, I want to thank you for being genuine. I want to thank you for coming out and for so bravely putting your concerns before us. Young people in particular, we have spoken to the fact that young people must be empowered. That is why I said that going forward, we need a youth agenda, an agenda that will address the concerns of young people, be it concerns about employment, concerns about education, whatever concerns young persons have, we must be able to address those concerns. Whether you're from constituency number 6, 3, 2, 4, 5, 1, whichever constituency you are from, you are an equal citizen of this country. You should not be made to feel any less equal in this, the country of your birth. You, like any other citizen, must be entitled to all of the opportunities that are available. I personally give the commitment on behalf of the People's Action Movement to all of the persons here in constituency number 6 that it will not be business as usual going forward. That is why we will present a candidate to you. The mistakes of the past must be corrected, or else we will continue to spin top in mud. It is not something I have supported. I have been victimized. I know what it feels like to be victimized. And I don't think that anyone else should be victimized, be it by any government or by any individual. Again, I apologize to you on behalf of the government. I apologize to you for being victimized by governments past and governments present, because you do not deserve it. Let us have that conversation at the end of this meeting, please. Thank you.
Anyone else? Good, because this is your opportunity. This is why we're here.
Good night to all. Yeah, I've been listening, and I've been listening attentively and carefully. You know, we can't run from it. The mighty shadow said, election coming, politicians are promising. Mr. Sean said that he didn't want to make no promise. But my take tonight is this, right? I think that government, example, if CCM and you all were to form government, you got to look at how the young people would get jobs. For the past 7 years, we haven't brought in any investors, right? And how come we have so much government programs, the PAM, the STEP, and other things, right? They are taking out money. Now we know that the United States and Europe, they say the CBI is very profitable, but United States and Europe are trying their very best to clamp down on the islands of the OECS with the CBI program. Just for hindsight's sake, if they were to clamp down on our CBI program, it means less money, and more people wouldn't be getting a paycheck. So what are the intentions of PAM, CCM, if they were to form government, how we would provide jobs for our people? Because it's all about jobs. If you don't have money, you can't pay your bills, you can't even spend, you know. And the other thing that I want to put across is small business. Small business has been getting a hit, and no one seems to care, because it seems like, pardon me if I use this expression, that money follows money. The importers are doing as they please. Let me tell you something. The cost of living has skyrocketed about 100% from since Corona to the war. And many a times it is being blamed on something else. And the importers use it as a way of getting rich. Could you imagine? I went down the other day, just to show you the case. The poor man got it hard. A case of chicken leg, 1 week, $78. Next week, $99. The poor man's salary ain't raised. The private sector ain't raised. You know, it's been 7 years. I got to say it like it is, 7 years, and a minimum wage has not been visited. 360, as the lady says. What it could do, yes, it helps, but what it could really do, you know, a government got to be considering, you know, the poor man always got it hard. Always. We talk about housing. I'd just like to propose something. It's a crazy idea, but it can work. Why not, if you were, I use in the conjunction, if you were to get into office once again. Why not? We do this in this way. Poor man, here it is, at a less concessionary rate than the middleman or the rich man. You know, the poor man is suffering. Imagine, NHC building house. Yes, a poor man can't qualify because his wage is so low. Why not make it something that, yes, okay, it may be for 25 years that government borrow the money. Why not I give you 45 years to pay it? You know, you can't pay it like me, who could pay it half in 20, or somebody else who could pay it half in 30. You know, you try to make it workable in this time. Because at the poor man, your all parties come to the poor man. And when the poor man don't make the X, the poor man is left out. Something else I would draw to our attention. Politicians, to my mind, playing savior. They are just mortal men. Let's stop giving the impression that I could give you a house, I could give you a job. That's why you were elected to office, to provide a house and to provide jobs for the people. You know, we got to stop saying, oh, if you vote for me, I can do this for you. You know, it's I who vote for you or I who vote against you. I expect my fair share. You know, and it's time. I don't know. I've been questioning myself, questioning this. One of the concerns that I've been keep hearing, CCM saying, fair share. I would like you to tell me tonight, if nobody else wants to listen, that's why I come to the microphone. What was the Charlestown Accord and fair share, and what proportion, or ratio, or fraction it was worked out that Navy saying getting the fair share, right? Because it seemed like St. Kitts getting all, but who getting it in St. Kitts? You know, that's the thing. Who getting it in St. Kitts? It's about time that we start to talk about numbers, figures. Let's forget about fair share and not presenting any statistics. So tonight, I'm just asking, tell me how we go. That when I leave here, when I could talk, I could say, this is what was said, and this is how it goes. Thank you.
There was someone else who wanted to ask a question. I invite you to come. All right, I think maybe the question might have been asked. A lot of things were raised, and I think you've raised some very good points. Specifically in terms of the Charlestown Accord, it spoke to the profits of the Citizenship by Investment Program being shared between St. Kitts and amongst St. Kitts and Nevis on the basis of the population. And so Nevis has approximately 25% of the overall population of the country. And so when that was signed, it was signed in the spirit that Nevis would and the NIA would receive approximately 25% of the profits from the CBI. And you touch on a number of things, and I'm really liking the energy and the engagement here in Saddlers tonight in respect of our young people and work and better work. I am with you 100%. For too long, we've been approaching the young men in particular of our country, trying to put them on a step gang or a peace gang to go and clear land and cut bush. Now, there's nothing wrong with that kind of work, but it's only so many people you can put to do it. And what about those who have other skills? And what about those who want more for themselves? And what we are advocating is opportunities in other sectors. And Sean and Lindsey could tell you, there are so many additional opportunities that can be had within the government system where we can utilize these persons, be it on step, and give them these other jobs, other opportunities where they can have that chance to develop in other areas. Even in terms of training and skills, and I haven't said this yet, you know. You would have heard me speak about preparation for jobs, for the World of Work training program that I had been working on in my capacity as the Minister of Education. I started that process last year. I engaged a young local consultant from here in St. Kitts. We worked along with a Fulbright scholar from the United States who I had met and was doing work with the CFBC. That young local consultant developed a full training program, which we were on the brink of launching. I had met with Step bought into it. I had Step office calling my phone every week. Minister, when we going to go? When we going to go? We love this, we want to do it. And what it was to fill that gap and provide training for young people in particular, but for anybody, to prepare them better for work. So whether it was conflict resolution, how to properly dress, how to speak in the work environment, a host of other things. And all of a sudden, January comes, the consultant can't get paid. February comes, the consultant can't get paid. March comes around, the consultant can't get paid. These are the kind of frustrations that existed under this administration, where young people were denied opportunities because somebody didn't want Jonel Powell to look good. It wasn't about me, it was about the benefits to those young people, the certifications that those young people would have received to put them in a better opportunity, a better position to work and to earn a higher wage. Well, it will come back when we form the next government, and we will expand upon that. If we could find all that money to put in the peace program, we will find money to provide grants and other assistance to small businesses and small and young entrepreneurs. It's getting late now. I'd like to thank all of you for coming out, for sharing with us, but I will invite one of your own from constituency number 6 to deliver the official vote of thanks. And so I invite Mrs. Leader to come and assist us.
Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, fellow constituents of number 6, Harris's to Newton Ground, good night. As a proud member of Constituency 6 PAM, it is a privilege to have been asked to give the vote of thanks. I want to thank all leaders, members, and friends, even those who were not able to attend tonight, for your unwavering support of the People's Action Movement and our continued desire to keep our promise. I extend a hearty thank you to all the speakers who spoke so eloquently and passionately about the way forward towards a greater St. Kitts and Nevis. Despite the challenging times we are in, I encourage you to be steadfast and ignore the noise that currently surrounds us in our beautiful federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. PAM will be victorious because of you and the ability to tune out the noise and support a party that has always put people first and remains the backbone of the country. To our esteemed leader, Mr. Sean Richards, thanks for your tenacity and commitment towards the development of our federation, and I know that you are more than capable of taking our federation forward. Thanks to the many persons who ask questions, it's always good to engage the politicians to ascertain their plans and policy. Thanks for coming tonight. Thank you for standing with us and being resilient despite the unprecedented moves. Do not stand idle, but be ready to vote PAM. In closing, I want to share the words of our party song. I love to serve our country, which God has blessed so well. With peace and love and happiness, we will forever dwell. We ask for God's protection and guidance on our way. The People's Action Movement will strive from day to day. The People's Action Movement is here and here to stay. Good night. Thank you.
And before we lock off, I have one quick announcement. And that is that the People's Action Movement is launching an online contest. We're launching a Facebook contest. And we want you to tell us why PAM should form the next government in St. Kitts and Nevis. And you could be the lucky winner of a food basket valued $500. And I'll tell you how you can win that. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/PAMSK, and you can't miss it. And like the contest. Put a like by the contest. Answer the question. Tell us why you think the People's Action Movement should form the next government here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Get your friends to like it and get them to comment on it as well. We will be launching this as of Wednesday, May 18th, and it ends for 1 week, and it ends on May 25th. You have to be 18 years of age to enter, and you must be a resident of St. Kitts and Nevis. This is your opportunity to engage in a discussion. Tell us why you think PAM should form the next government, and give yourself the chance to win a food basket valued at $500. Again, thank you all for coming out in your numbers here in Sadlers. This is really encouraging. Thank you to all those who tuned in on the radio, live on the internet. And remember, we will be in Carry On by Swing Bar on Wednesday afternoon with the announcement of our new candidate for constituency number 8. And on Thursday, we are going to be in Molyneux with our next town hall meeting. Thank you for coming out. Continue to join us. And remember, the People's Action Movement, along with the Concerned Citizens Movement, is here to keep the promise and to give you real unity, a government of real unity come the next general elections. Thank you. Godspeed. Get home safely.
They had it, folks. The People's Action Movement Town Hall meeting in Constituency number 6. We now head back to our regular programming.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. The sounds that